What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Business Therapist. I'm your co-host, Chris Angel, here with your host, as always, Arnell Tanyag. Hi,
hey,
Arnell.
Chris. This is an exciting time. I'm going to talk about my own stuff.
What? You're going to throw yourself under the bus?
Yeah, throw me under the bus. It makes it easier for me to talk about my bus.
That's my favorite. It's my favorite. It's juicy right there where you're going to throw yourself under the bus. Love that. Well, what are we talking about today?
Yeah, we're going to talk about, many years, I've always done referrals and I've been doing referrals for a year. And I realized I was spending so much time looking at the tools, like books. I was reading books, CRMs, taking webinars. I mean, I know a lot about word of mouth and this. I was piecing these pieces of information from here, there, and there. And I realized that I was still feeling unfulfilled. I didn't have a think tank. I was like, man, am I doing this right? And then I realized that, I really needed the people. I needed to be around people that give and receive at a high level.
Can I throw you under the bus some more though?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say, I just want to go deep. I just want to take the elevator down to the bottom floor.
Let's go to the bottom floor.
I'm
down.
So I'm just trying to get the world of it. So you were reading books, you were doing webinars, you were kind of looking at all the tools and all that. And but you were still unhappy. And so from that place, where did that lead you to? So you're unhappy and that resulted in?
I was so unhappy because I was giving so much, and I couldn't figure out how to get referrals, and I couldn't figure out it just became, it's me. Yeah. I got the problem. I suck at this thing. Right.
Got it. Right. So it went from I'm not being successful in business to now there's self-doubt in there.
That's right.
Self-doubt,
questionable self-doubt. And then I just put my head down, started working, and then I would be confused of the processes. I get confused. It was the mindset. It was a skill. Then I'm like, and then I go, hey man, can I talk about referrals? Oh, you should do this. You should do that. And I'd go back and forth, find all these people. And I was like, man, this is confusing.
At some point, we start swimming in all this information, there's so much overwhelm. So then from there, how did that impact your income?
Oh, okay. My income went because I kept trying to experiment, trying to figure out, and I kind of realized, and I was like, man, what am I doing? And then you start looking at other different things. It starts clouding your brain. Yeah. Then you just have this cascade of no wins.
Right. And then sorry, I hate to press on this one. This might be tender. I don't know. But then from there, when money gets tight, how are conversations at home?
Oh, you don't want to come home.
Late nights at the office.
You work late.
Seriously. Oh, preach. Oh my God. It's so true. So true. That's hilarious. Listen, you just described every entrepreneur's journey. But that's the trap. I think this is totally your conversation. I think that's the trap of tools.
You're right. And here's the thing is, it was interesting. I was great at giving business to people, but I struggled on getting back. And I thought it was, okay, let me learn more tools on how to get back. And I was implementing, but the tools just felt empty. It was just innate objects, innate software objects it's really just to speed up the process, but it didn't bring any energy. It didn't bring any validation or clarity. What it ended up doing, it just made me go, okay, well, I'm doing all these things. I don't understand why I'm not getting anything in return, or is it giving me any feedback? But the worst part is you couldn't talk your stuff out. Anybody who had the same mind, same value, no judgment. So a tool just does what you ask him to do, and he pushes a button. It doesn't give you any validation to tell you it's a good idea. And you're kind of going,
right.
What am I doing?
I know. Listen, if I had to show you my baskets of tools right up here on that bookshelf behind me, that's filled with tools. And then if you looked at my hard drive and my different subscriptions online and the amount of software tools I've bought, it's embarrassing to look at how many tools I've spent money on.
Oh yeah. Like this. Yeah, I know. Got through this weekend. Look at what tools I'm not using. Go cancel that stuff.
I know, right? That got me no further. And actually probably added to the confusion and chaos.
That's correct.
And lonely. So that's not the end of the story. You actually, as you started to sink your teeth into people, you started to figure out people is something I'm missing. So what did it start to look like as you connected with people? How did you connect those dots?
Yeah, I had a friend of mine named Tim Jones who said, hey, Arnell, you're great at building referrals, relationships. Here's a book. So he gave me Michael Mayer's 7 Levels of Communication, 7L. I read the book over the weekend. I said, man, that is just me. I said, I'm not even an agent. I said, that's just how I do the thing. I was looking, I'm like, hey, this is pretty awesome. Read it. And then Michael had this class, this boost class. I took it over, like, it was like a webinars, took it, and I followed the process, and then I followed it. And some of it worked, some didn't. But I had a process to follow, but he would, you in the webinar. But then, then I got into like the Catalyst program, and I got to talk to other agents in there. But what really got me is, I said, hey, you want to be certified? And I said, what? Because you're going to be sitting down with people who do, generosity generation referrals at high level. You go down to Atlanta. So I go to Atlanta, I go, I'm the only guy in there. Everybody's in real estate. That's where I met you. And I was like,
right.
Wow, these are givers, 6-figure, 7-figure givers, own companies. Man, I'm in the right room. I mean, they're talking about giving, and they're positive, upbeat, shaking hand. I was like, man, I need more of this in Hampton Roads. We don't got this in Hampton.
Yeah.
So I flew out there and I'm like, oh, this is really good. And in my personality, I'm kind of like reserved. I was watching this and that. And it's funny, like when I went to the one in August last year, Sherry goes, yeah, the first time and Michael and Sherry goes, the first time you were just kind of observing. Yeah, I was just kind of observing, looking around. Second time I got involved and speak, but I said it was promising for me because I was in a room of people that I admire and respect who give, but also learning how to give.
Right.
And there was a process, and I always thank Michael and Sharon and their team because it's a process where if you're giving, you can learn how to receive back. And I realized it was not the tool, it was the community of people who are sharing the same values and beliefs, and they can share information back and forth, and they'll share their tools, but the tools had a meaning. Yeah. Not something you just do because you hope to have a meaning. They had a meaning to the process, and this is how we do it.
I feel like so many people undervalue and underestimate the importance of a tribe, a community, not even a tribe like who you're marketing to, but like a closer community of people that can be sounding boards, a closer group of people who can provide perspective, valuable perspective.
Correct. That's correct. Yeah. And you're right. And interesting thing is that, so I got certified and I'm part of that. And I still do the strategic coaching on Monday mornings. Like I was looking at my schedule, I got 3 conference calls with people who are interested in 7L. People are like, why do you do that? Hey, look, when you have to talk to somebody on the phone you don't know and you're asking about referrals, it's a really good practice of my skills, and I'm practicing the scripts, the conversation. It's really good, but I'm part of something because I realize I think as an entrepreneur, it's really hard to be on your own. It's even harder when you need to be part of something greater, and they say you need to be that greater. But a lot of times you just want to be part of something so you can be great for something. Right. So when I went to with 7L and did CRT, I realized I'm part of something greater. I can go to the events once a year, twice a year, and see all the peers. They talk about it. We share the content, share the information. If I need to reach out to them, like I had a conversation a couple months ago with Neil Smith to talk about the great retrace. Hey, Arno, I sent you somebody. They may call you. Okay, it's great. I said, how you doing, man? I see your stuff. And I think Paul had a baby. It was just really good to be around givers. Yeah. That's connected.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, like, if before that realization and experience, life was confusing, unhappy, frustrating, money was tight. Like on this side of discovering that people was the thing you didn't know you wanted or needed, but now you have. Like, what is your experience of your business and your life now on the other side of realizing it was people?
Yeah, I realize now is that I'm in a comfort level where I'm growing the business, and now I'm really putting the process and systems to really take it to the next level. Yeah. But having the people around the community makes it a lot easier because you're not by yourself. You can actually, you're inspired. Right. I think being by yourself with no tribe or no community, you're not inspired. I think it's hard to create your own inspiration when you don't have anybody to look toward to.
I think we all want to be inspired. I think to show up to your business every day and not do it in the spirit of inspiration is torture. That's like a slog to try to get through business when you're not inspired.
And I think a lot of us will get excited when we get inspired about the possibility of, future focus. But you know what eventually happens? When we get beat up every day and we don't know how to get there, it's exhausting. And then we change that feature to let me just survive. Yep. And so when I go to the, Michael's have this big referral summit and he asks the CRTs if they want to come speak. I'm interested in doing that. But I can go to Atlanta, participate in that. There's 200 agents. It's all upbeat, all generosity. I mean, wow. I'm like, yeah. Let me get charged because what's happened is I think if you're a giver and people look at you to give, you got to go somewhere where other people are giving to you at a level that you can receive and be valued. I think if you're giving all the time, it's exhausting because sometimes you just need to talk your stuff out with other people who are not judgmental, but also understand they can give. And so when I go down there, I'm learning a part of my business on how to give. And I've learned that if I just stick to the process, pick and choose of the process, it's rewarding. Like on Tuesday night, I had a paint rock night. So I'm on this place where they paint rocks, a basket. We paint rocks. I had 27 people there. We all painted rocks. They had a great time, and people are like, how do you think this rock thing would have been fun? I said, look, trust me, when you paint rocks, and you can't mess up rocks, and people are painting rocks. But here's an interesting thing based on Michael's system. I had the door prize entry for, and I have to do a Facebook Live today talking about the door prize thing. But I said, hey, if it's okay in the door prize entry form, can we have a conversation, a brainstorming? Who could you introduce me to that I could help? And all 27 people said yes. So now I have 27 possible people to follow up with through the next couple of months for possible introductions. Now, and before when I used to do events like that, I wouldn't have that. Right. So I'd be giving out and all this stuff, but then I'd very rare see it. And now I have 27 relationships through the system that I could actually follow up with. Yeah. And they're willing to help. Not to say all of them will, but they're at least willing to have a conversation to talk about it.
Yeah. Right.
And that's all I really want is to have a conversation.
And I think it's cool too that you learned these systems through the 7 levels of communication community, and that not just that you went to the CRT event, but that you are staying in communication with these people from the 7 levels of communication community over time. I think a lot of people go to events one time, they come back and there's no community. So they get inspired at the event, but they come back to no community. And so they're left with loneliness again and frustration. I think you do this really well with your book clubs. I know you do a 7L book club.
Yep.
You actually have some coming up that people listening to this could probably reach out to you and ask like if there's room for them. But I feel like that type of a thing where you're hosting a book club that people come to talk through, not just their own challenges in business, but the systems. You said systems several times. The systems of it in a community, I think, is a super powerful combo. So like if people wanted to learn more about the 7L book clubs or even just schedule time to talk to you, like what's the best, how do people reach out to you?
Yeah, the best way they can reach out is you can go to my website, www.tanyag.net, or just call me 757-752-8169. Leave a message, I'll give you a call back. And it's amazing because I think community is really important, especially today, because we have access to everyone, but we have no relationship with anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think as an entrepreneur, we have to have relationships with like-minded people so we can talk our stuff out and not have people tell us what to do, but have people just encourage us. I had a client, she's just struggling. And I said, well, you got a great business. I mean, you just got, your family member's sick and they may pass away, but you got a great business. She goes, I needed to hear that. I said, I'm not making this up. I really believe in great business. You're just having all this stress. She was like, I really appreciate it. That's what I see. I'm not sugarcoating. I think she needed to hear more of that, because I think at the end of the day, what we're struggling with is just be accepted and then be helped to get to that future we want.
Yeah.
But that's why I went to 7Up, because I really wanted to learn and be involved in people who do generosity at a high level, but they also do generosity at a high level where it comes back to them at a high level.
Yeah. It's so good. I love it. Well, I think anybody listening to this should jump in one of your 7L book clubs for the community alone, let alone the systems they'll learn and the ideas they'll learn. But the community itself is so important. I also think people should just hire you as a coach because you get this at a deeper level than most realize. Like, you're a great listener and you really understand the things that people don't say.
That's correct.
The things they don't say, but you perceive it. That's what you're so perceptive. So that's invaluable when you're trying to build a business. So again, you guys can go to tanyag.net, connect with Arnell there. Arnell, thanks for putting out great content. This is the future of marketing, where we're actually creating content for people, and rather than marketing at them and to them, we're marketing with them and for them. And I feel like that's what this show does. So
no, I appreciate that. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah. See you next time.
See you then. Thank you then.